Good morning, and welcome to DevDay. Thanks for being here in San Francisco, the city where we started and where we are committed to building the future of AI.
Welcome to The Explainer. OpenAI's 2025 DevDay just wrapped, and wow, they have handed builders a whole new set of power tools. So today, we're going to break down the biggest announcements, the ones that are really about to change the game for anyone building with AI. Okay, so here's what we're covering. First, we'll look at the just insane growth happening on the platform. Then we'll dive into 3 huge new tool releases for developers. And finally, we'll get to the new models that are powering this whole thing. So first up, let's talk scale. To really get why these new tools even exist, you have to understand the explosion that's been happening on the OpenAI platform. Get this, there are now 4 million developers building on OpenAI. I mean, just think about that. That's double what it was in 2023, when it was 2 million. The growth is just staggering. And it's not just the builders, right? The user base is absolutely massive. We're talking more than 800 million people using ChatGPT every single week. That's the audience these developers are building for. So what does all that activity look like? Well, the API is now cranking through over 6 billion tokens every single minute. And to put that into perspective, just 2 years ago, that number was 300 million. It's a whole different universe of usage. This chart really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? A 20x increase in just 2 years. When you have that kind of exponential growth, the old ways of doing things just don't cut it anymore. It's the perfect setup for why a new toolkit was so necessary. And Sam Altman really hit the nail on the head here. It's an amazing time to be a builder. But even with all this speed, there's a huge hurdle: distribution. How do you get your amazing new product in front of all those users? Well, OpenAI is tackling that problem first. So how do you reach hundreds of millions of users instantly? OpenAI's big answer is, don't make them leaf. Let builders create apps inside of ChatGPT itself. And this is made possible by the new Apps SDK. Think of it as a complete package for building these interactive, personalized apps that don't just send you to another website. No, they live and breathe right there in the chat conversation. What this means for developers is that discovery is seamless. Take the Zillow demo they showed. A user just asks for homes in Pittsburgh, and boom, the Zillow app pops up right in the chat. Then they just keep the conversation going. Show me 3-bedroom homes with a yard. And the map updates in real time. It's all incredibly fluid. You never leave the conversation. Okay, so distribution is one piece of the puzzle. But what about actually building the AI agent? You know, this process can be super complex and slow. A lot of great ideas get stuck in that prototype phase and just never make it out the door. This is where AgentKit comes in. It's designed to solve exactly that problem by giving you all the building blocks you need in one place. You get a visual canvas for designing the logic, a ready-made chat interface you can just drop into your app, and even tools to test performance and figure out what's working. And the speed here is just wild. This timeline breaks down a live demo where they built and shipped a complete agent for the DevDay website from scratch, live on stage, in less than 8 minutes, all with a drag-and-drop workflow builder. It's a total game changer for how fast you can go from an idea to a real working agent. All right, the next bottleneck they're tackling is coding itself. You know, all the boilerplate and repetitive stuff that can really bog down the creative process. And for that, they've unleashed the new Codex. This is no longer just a research preview. It's a full-on AI software engineering agent, powered by a brand new GPT-5 Codex model, and it works everywhere you do, in your code editor, your terminal, and even in Slack. The quote here really says it all. The goal is to get to workable software without writing code by hand. And to prove just how powerful this is, the live demo was just mind-blowing. They gave Codex tasks using nothing but voice commands and some quick sketches. I mean, check this out. First, they just said, control the camera with an Xbox controller. Codex wrote the code, deployed it, and it just worked. Instantly. But then they took it to another level. They asked it to control the venue lights. So Codex spun up an entire server for the lighting system, and suddenly voice commands were changing the lighting for the entire live audience. This is turning abstract thoughts into working software in minutes, with 0 manual coding. It's incredible. So what's powering all of this amazing new stuff? Well, of course, there are some huge updates to the core models themselves, making them way more powerful and a lot easier to get your hands on. Okay, 3 big things to know. First, GPT-5 Pro, their smartest model for really complex reasoning, is finally in the API. Second, there's a new mini model that makes real-time voice apps like 70% cheaper, which is a huge deal. And third, Sora 2, the incredible video generation model, is now open for developers to use. And with Sora 2, the keyword is control. This isn't just about make a video of a cat. Now you can give it detailed instructions for specific shots, generate synchronized sound to go with it, and get this, you can even feed it a still photo, say of your own dog, and have it come to life in a video. It's a massive leap for creative work. So, let's pull it all together. The big takeaway here is that OpenAI just dropped a complete end-to-end toolkit for builders. You've got the Apps SDK for distribution, Agent Kit for rapid development, and Codex as your AI teammate, all of it powered by these beastly new models. The goal is clear: slash the time it takes to go from a simple idea to a real product. And all of this really leaves us with one big question. If software that used to take months of work can now be spun up in just a few minutes, what comes next? What are you gonna build?